This is the Radical Thought devotion for October 28th. Our verse for today comes out of our daily reading in the one-year Bible. It's Titus 3:2. Speak evil of no one, to be peaceable, gentle, showing all humility to all men. This little epistle or letter to Titus from Paul gives us some great insight on how Christians should relate to other Christians and to those who are outside the faith. Today's reading begins by telling Christians to submit to the government and its officers, and most governments do not have God or His Word as the foundation of their governing. And because of this poor foundation, most governments are involved in things that God disapproves of and that Christians are forced to live with. Our own state, especially, I'm living here in California, this is certainly true. As a Christ follower, I have a problem with a government that thinks it's okay to abort a child. I always will. It sickens me even to think about some of the things that our government is considering even now. But according to Paul, I am to submit to that government. And that is the context that today's verse was written from. And I believe it crosses over into all areas of our lives. Just because our government is doing some things that I believe are storing up God's anger and wrath for a future date does not give me permission to speak evil of anyone in that government. In fact, according to this verse, we should be not speaking evil to anyone. I wonder how many times each day we break this command, or at least think about breaking this command. And understand, I include myself in the we of that part of that statement. You know, Paul goes on to say that we also must avoid quarreling. You know, husbands and wives ought to pay special attention to this. Quarreling is sin. And gentlemen, if you're allowing quarreling to persist in your marriage, then you are giving Satan a free pass to do whatever he wants in your family. It is possible to disagree without quarreling. And if you don't know how, get counsel and learn how. Paul then goes on to tell us that what we should be doing rather than speaking evil and quarreling. And he begins by saying we should be gentle. Jesus was almost always gentle. There were a few times when his holy anger would rise up, and it always had to do with self-righteous people who are leading people, God's people, away from a true worship of God. There is no other time that Jesus was not gentle. Gentleness is not weakness. It takes incredible strength to be gentle. If you want a picture of gentleness in action, look at Jesus' arrest and trial and crucifixion. At any moment, Jesus could have called down legions of angels to defend him, but he did not, and there was a reason why he didn't. Paul concludes this verse by telling us to show true humility to everyone. Humility is thinking and acting as though others are better than you are. This is a real problem for most people. They simply don't believe that there are many people that are better than they are, and it shows in the way that they relate to others. True humility begins in our mind. And as we grow in our knowledge of Christ and what He has done for us and His humility, and what the Holy Spirit is doing, we should be finding less and less to feel proud about in our own lives and recognize that we, in fact, should be humble always. To be a godly man or woman, we must exercise self-control. We must control the way we think, speak, and act. And to do that, we must surrender more of our lives to Christ and allow the Holy Spirit to do the work He desires to do in us. Pray this prayer with me. Jesus, help us to let You fix us. The Radical Thought Devotional is a ministry of the Radical Word. Go to radicalword.com to see more of what we do. The text-only version of these devotionals are sent out every day by email. If you'd like to start receiving them, click the link in the description for this video or go to the website. You can find it there as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us to get the word out to others who might be encouraged by these short messages. Until next time, go be radical with Jesus.